So in today's video, I want to take a look at a distribution for the Raspberry Pi 4, and this is called Manjaro Sway. So you probably heard of Manjaro ARM. It's basically Manjaro. Manjaro is based off Arch, and it's built for ARM for the Raspberry Pi 4. But I've never reviewed the Sway version. So what Sway is, it's basically a window tiling manager. If you don't know what a window tiling manager is, it's a window tiling manager is basically you can open up windows and it's super easy to use with your keyboard, and you can have different windows open and you don't even really have to use the mouse at all. You can navigate and do everything with your keyboard. So it's actually really cool to be able to use it like this. There's all these key bindings. It does take a bit of time to learn, but once you learn it, it's actually a lot easier and faster to use on your computer because you don't have to use the mouse at all. You just remember those key binds and you can do it super easily. So I've actually really enjoyed using it. This is my first time trying it out, and I've actually been using it for like the last 2 days, and I've got the hang of it. So if you heard of i3, Sway is basically i3, but it's built for Wayland. i3 is built for X11, and that's the difference basically. So this version of Manjaro ARM is actually built off XFCE, and for the window manager, of course, like I said, they've used Sway. So we're going to be taking a look at what we see in this video and what kind of features does Sway hold for us. So I'm actually really excited to see what we can do with this. So to get started, we actually do have a little cheat sheet. So if we go, the default mod key, which is the key you're going to need to use a lot, is Alt. If you don't change it, it is Alt. So hit Alt, Shift, question mark, and we get this little cheat sheet right here. So this really helps you. If you're new to this, you don't remember all the keys, you can actually use this to see what keys you want to use to open up different applications and different stuff like that. So it says default modifier is Alt, and that's the one that I'm using. New terminal, it says mod plus enter. So if we go mod enter, we have a terminal right here. So I updated my system because there were a lot of updates, and then these things started showing up at the top. I'm not exactly sure what's the deal with that, because that's kind of odd, but I'm not sure. And I forgot to mention, you cannot type when the cheat sheet is open, because you see right now it went blank, so you need to hit escape, and then it will open back to the terminal. I can just clear to take away those commands, and I could take neofetch if I wanted. And you see it is Manjaro ARM Linux. This is a 64-bit version. I'm on a Rev 1.4 8GB Raspberry Pi 4, and my kernel, my Pacman, everything is here. So this is really lightweight because it's not running any heavy applications or anything. So it works incredibly well on the Raspberry Pi 4, and I've actually really enjoyed using it. And so that is the terminal basically, and you can install any application you can in normal Manjaro. There's no limitations because this is Sway. Don't think like that. It works. Everything works exactly the same. So if you're a Manjaro user, feel free. This one is really cool and it works exactly the same. If we were to go htop, we see that the memory usage is pretty low, 461 megabytes. And swap, we do have a swap partition in here, so that is pretty cool. And these are our cores. Everything is really good. Like, it's not a heavy distribution like KD or GNOME or anything like that. It's incredibly lightweight and incredibly functional. So it's just really fun to use. So if we want to quit out an application like our terminal right here, we can actually go our mod key, which is Alt Shift Q, and it actually closes it for you. And if we want to have two windows open at the same time, let's open back our terminal, and then let's open up another terminal. You see it's on the side right here. If I wanted that to be at the bottom, I could go Alt E, and it moves it to the bottom, and I can do this a lot. So it just helps. You can customize it and do however you want to do it. So let's go ahead and close these up, and let's go look at the cheat sheet one more time to see what we have. We have new terminal, application launcher. So let's take a look at the application launcher. Alt D. And we have this really nice application launcher right here. And there's tons of applications that come pre-installed. So let's start out right here. We have the settings manager, which is just some default settings. I'm not going to go through that. I was actually surprised to see Chromium Widevine in here. So, but the thing is, when I try to launch it, it says missing image. Please run this script, which I cannot find where that script is. I might be missing something, but I can't figure out how to get the Chromium Widevine working correctly. But other than that, it is cool to see that they added that. Maybe you guys could figure it out. If you can, let me know down below in the comments. Customized look and feel. We actually have all these widgets and colors in here that you can go through and change. Because it is Linux, you can customize it however you like. So it uses the Matcha Dark C as default, and you could change that to any other of these if you wanted to. Our colors are normal. We're using the papyrus icon theme, which I'm a huge fan of. I love the papyrus one. It's one of my favorites for Linux. It's simple, nice looking, and just looks elegant. Our mouse cursor is also one of my favorite. It's the Breeze cursor. It's the cursor that's used on KDE Plasma, and I just really like it. Font, I don't know about font, other, and yeah, so these are the default themes that are on here, but you could of course add more or customize it however you like. Let's go back to our applications and go through right here. So we have our file manager, which is just the default XFCE one, nothing special. Termite is the terminal they're using on here, which I actually like. We have Firefox, Chromium, I did install myself using the Software Center. We have LibreOffice, SSH Server Browser, LibreOffice Math, Qt5 settings, that's actually pretty cool. And we have some more stuff right here. NeoVim, which is like a really lightweight PDF viewer. We have Color Picker. We have Add Remove Software, which is the same one that's on all the Manjaro distributions for the Raspberry Pi 4. So it's normal PAMAC, and it works really well. If we wanted to add AUR packages, we click right here. We go over to Preferences, and you type in your passwords, which you create when you set this distribution up. And it's going to launch, and we can go over here to AUR, and we could enable AUR support if we wanted to, but I don't want to do that right now. But there are a good amount of applications in here you could go through, like RetroArch, Telegram, VLC, and it's really cool to see this running on Manjaro Sway on our Raspberry Pi 4. And if we go where we left off, we have Color Picker, more LibreOffice, about XFCE, so we can see what version of XFCE this is. It's 4.16, so it's not the latest version, but it is pretty cool, because we're going for XFCE, we're more looking at the Sway anyway. And let's go through all the applications so you know what's in here. We have Thunderbird, which is a mail client, works pretty well, but I don't really use desktop mail clients. I'm more of a fan of just using the web, but that's my personal preference. HTOP, which I showed before, is like a in-terminal system monitor, works really well. Pulse Audio, Quantum to change themes and different things like that. We have a password and key remember, so that's actually really cool. We have a firewall, we have print settings, so you can add your printer from here and print. LibreOffice, and we have Gparted to edit our partitions, Bluetooth adapter. Oh, Ranger is something that I think is really cool. So if you open up Ranger, it's actually an in-terminal file browser. So it didn't open, but if we open up our terminal, which is Alt-Enter, and if we just clear this out, if I was to type Ranger right here, give it a second, and we have our full file manager from our terminal. So I actually really like this concept, because you don't have to use your mouse at all, and you can go through these different files and see what you want and what you don't want. So it works incredibly well, and it's just, I like having these in-terminal things. They look kind of retro and fun to use. So this is a cool thing that they've added. I have not installed myself. If we wanted to exit, it's Alt-Shift-Q. And let's just go through the last applications that were down here. And that's about it. We have Imtray, which is like a news thing. It comes on, and when you launch Manjaro, there's actually a lot of these things, and it's kind of annoying. So I usually disable Imtray because I'm not really into that news stuff. It doesn't matter to me. But yeah, that is that. Now let's open up our cheat sheet one more time and see what else is here. We have Command Runner, which I'm not exactly sure what is. We have Window Switcher. So we can switch windows. We have resize mode, mod R. So let's try that. Let's open up our terminal. Wait, we have to close this, and let's go mod R. So we can resize it with H. So you can, I think you can resize. I'm not exactly sure how you resize that, but I mean, if you're an advanced user, you probably know how to do that. But it does work pretty well. So let's go look at our cheat sheet one more time. We have screenshot mode, which is actually really cool. If we go mod shift S, we see we have full screen, window, and region. So if I hit F, it actually copies it to your thing. So if you're like using Discord, or if you're using some application like that, you can just copy and paste it into there. And if we go Alt Shift R to record, if I want to record the whole screen, I hit W, and right now it's recording my screen and doing everything. Let's open up a terminal so we can watch this video. and just see that it did work. If I hit escape, we can actually look at the video now. So if we open up our file manager, which we can use application launcher and type file manager right here, and if we go over here to videos, it should be in there right here, recording. It makes it an MP4 file actually, and it launches it right here on the side. So you see, them adding these recording and screenshot applications to the distribution is actually really useful, and I'm a huge fan of it, so it's actually pretty cool. Let's look at the last few things that are on our cheat sheet. We have close help overlay and close help overlay. So that's just how to open up this cheat sheet basically. And one more thing about this distribution, you have different desktops. So let's say I open up a terminal. Let's clear that. Let's open up NeoFetch so we know what terminal this is. And if I want to move that to a different desktop, basically I hit Alt 2. And that moves it to the second desktop. If I want to go back to the first desktop, I can just go Alt 1 and I'm in this desktop. If I go to Alt 2, I'm here. Alt 1, I'm there. So it's really useful that you can put different applications on different desktops and have them here. So let's like open up HTOP here. And then if we wanted to go to our 2, we go over 2, 1, and here now they're on the both one because I switched them. But it's really useful to be able to have these applications on different windows and be able to switch through them that easily. So it's actually really cool. If I can quit out of these. And on the top right here we have our Ethernet, which shows our Ethernet and IP address, which is actually pretty useful. We have our CPU usage, our RAM usage right here, our volume, Bluetooth, and Ethernet. You could connect to Wi-Fi, and our date. And right now I'm on the second desktop. If I went to the first one, see, now I'm on the first one, and there are as many desktops as you want. So you can go up to 8, I think. Like, look at that. I'm going to 10. I'm on the 10th desktop. So there's no limitations on how many desktop you want. So it's really cool that you can have unlimited desktops, unlimited space, and stuff like that. So one thing that I want to show that I thought was pretty cool was having like Discord open on here. So if we go into my downloads folder and we ls, we see right here I have a Discord app image. So if I go -- discord.app image, so that should launch the image for me because I actually downloaded this from the Spacing Bat developers GitHub page, and it should launch for me right here. You see Discord. There is a new version available, huh? I mean, that must be pretty new. But I mean, I really like being able to have them in these windows that it's really clear which one is where, and I can like have my chat open right here. I can have my terminal. I could have VS Code. I could be coding. I can have my chat open right here and talk to my friends, be on a call. I can have Chromium open. I can do everything right here. So it's just really fun to be able to have it this easily. And if I want to go to a different desktop, if I need more room, I go over to 2, and let's say I want my browser open here. I open up Firefox. Was a bit better for me on this distribution. So if I open up Firefox, I can have my browser on this desktop. I can have my Discord and my coding on my other chat. So it just, everything works out incredibly well. I want to go back there. There we go. And I can search for like Pi 4. Browsing especially was incredibly smooth. I was so happy that it's this smooth. This is possibly one of my favorite Raspberry Pi distributions available because it's so easy to use and works incredibly well. And YouTube performance is amazing too. I'm not going to go into that, but it is really amazing. So let's just go back to my first desktop. But yeah, we can close out of Discord, close out of here, and just open up. Or let's just clear this real fast. But yeah, Manjaro Sway is especially one of my favorite distributions for the Raspberry Pi 4. Since it works so well, I love learning these keybinds, and if you're into tech like me, these things are actually really interesting, but it might look a bit scary to you, like it's hard to learn. How am I going to learn all these key bindings? It looks so hard. It seriously is not. It took me like 10 minutes and I already got it. So don't be scared of these kind of distributions. You can learn them. I know you can. It's not that hard, and they're actually really fun to use. So I had a really fun time playing around with this, and I like it. Tell me what you think about this distribution. If you're going to try it, or if you already tried it, what do you know about it? Let me know down below in the comments, and thanks for watching.